Now, in the high school ranks, a ton of new head coaches have been announced this offseason. 1/3 of the News4JAX coverage region will have a new head coach. That's quite remarkable.
That's a big number. I mean, a big number. You know, we've had a lot of years where we've had coaching turnover, but this year is excessive. Well, let's look at some of these changes. Step Durham going to Atlantic Coast. Corey Johns at Bartram Trail. That's a big one because he replaced Daryl Sutherland. Daryl Sutherland had been there since the school opened in 2000. Justin Sermon going to Christchurch. Brian Allen, a big name. He's back at Lake City, Columbia after a couple-year absence. Kevin Johnson, a former Inglewood alum, returning to his alma mater to head coach the Rams there. So some coaching changes there. We've got more here. Daniel Fish at Flagler Palm Coast. Chad Parker, a longtime guy at Bartram Trail. He's now at Fleming Island. Demetric Jackson goes from one Columbia school to the other one. He was at Columbia last year. He's now back at Fort White. Daniel Thomas, he played at Hilliard, went on to become a draft pick of the Miami Dolphins. He is back at his alma mater this year. And Darrell Bartley replacing Christopher Foy at Jackson. And that's not all of them. We still have more here. Steve Reynolds moving up at Keystone Heights. He takes over for Chuck Dickinson. Chuck had been one of the longest tenured coaches in the area at Keystone Heights. Anthony Rivers at Menendez. He's actually the second Menendez head coaching hire of the offseason. Their first one resigned after a few weeks on the job. Jamal Fudge at North Florida Educational Institute. He replaces Rodney DeBose. Rodney took the athletic director job at Oakleaf. Christopher Foy, remarkable job at Andrew Jackson, playoffs and a district championship last year for the Tigers. He's now at Oakleaf. Michael Holloway at Terry Parker, that was announced today. So he's moving up, taking Sharon Dorsey's spot. Cash Forbich at St. Augustine St. Joseph. Zachary Harbison, he moves from Inglewood to Coy Creek down there in St. Johns County. Gunnar Cox at West Nassau, replacing Ricky Armstrong. And Jermaine Wilson taking over for Step Durham at Wolfson. It's a lot of coaching changes in an area where we've got a little more than 60 schools. So that's almost 1/3 of the schools in our coverage area that are going to have new men leading those teams this year. A lot of changes, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, so if you're not excited for the high school football season now, there's just so much unknown, and we'll see. Hopefully they all have successful seasons this season.